All right, we are back with another fun-filled, exciting episode of the Christmas show. It is Bengt, it is Gillen, and we're here to fill up your day with vegetable.
Oh, is it a vegetable?
Is it?
Veggie?
Veggie? Is it veggie? Is it some mystical oriental device that transports you to another place in time entirely? For video gamers, I think it's a bit of both, really.
Yeah.
It is Bengt's trip to Super Potato, the world-famous 3-story high haven for every Japanese game ever in the bustling streets of Tokyo.
One of our favorite spots here in Akihabara, Tokyo is Super Potato, and long-time viewers will have seen shows that we've done here before, but we thought we'd go back here and do another show, a little bit of retro love, and we'd also try to point out exactly where this place is, because it's kind of hard to find this place, even though it's 3 stories of retro gaming goodness. It's tucked away in a side street. The main street here in Akihabara is right next on that side. And we got the big Kotobukiya store here, which is a little bit easier to locate than Super Potato. So let's take a look at the first floor here of Super Potato. Down here we've got some Virtual Boy games and some Dreamcast titles. I think this is somewhat of a bargain section. You can find a classic here, Virtua Striker 2, for just 50 yen, which is, I think, about half the price it costs to buy 1 credit in the arcade, so it's quite a bargain. Let's start out by taking a look at the hardware section here. Obviously we've got stacks of Famicom, we've got the disk system here. Perhaps Westerners aren't that familiar with that one. We've got a Sharp Twin Famicom over here, and Super Famicom, obviously. Here obviously got some sample machines. As you can see, there's a number of Famicom discs in this one, the Famicom box. Got similar setup here for Super Famicom. It's a section that is dear to me, the Sega section. There are some Dreamcasts here, and then the Mega Drive Master System. Here we go to what's probably the more lucrative section of the store, with a lot of rare games. As you can see, Mega Drive titles going for 98,000 yen here. Quite a lot of money. There's a WWF, what's called back then, for 88,000. Down by my feet here we've got the locked-in Neo Geo titles. I can see King of Fighters 2001. Big boxes and quite hefty price tags as well. Some of the games here are going for as much as 75,000 yen, which is a lot of money. Here we got the Virtual Boy, a demo setup. I think it came with bags if you threw up. Bit of a flop, that one. So let's move up a flight of stairs. There's a lot of guidebooks and stuff like that here as well. And as you can see, they're quite beautiful. And there's a lot of work put into them. Interesting to see just the massive selection of guidebooks. Sony got the Atari Lynx over here. I think the widest handheld ever made. This is the RPG section, and I think RPGs is something that the PlayStation is very much remembered for. You got Final Fantasy over there, you got the Tales series here, Chrono Cross. Behind that section here we got some soundtracks. Big thing here, big deal in Japan. Lots of the biggest series have both orchestrated and original soundtracks released. Those I don't think anyone would name a game Banana today. Sadly, there's lack of those titles. Here's the handheld history of Nintendo. Got some Game Boy games. Got some hardware units over here. And we've got Nintendo 64 down here on the floor. Both boxed games and cartridges. And here's a classic. It's actually not that cheap here in Japan. 5,500 yen for just the cartridge. GoldenEye 007. I think some of the more expensive ones here are the Crystal Climber. Back there, 52,000 yens for that one. What's interesting is that it's the games that didn't really become successful that are now expensive because no one bought them and they didn't make many of them. So it's the failed games that actually carry a premium value these days. Obviously some other stuff as well here, not just games, not just hard stuff, some softer, more cuddly things as well. But let's move up to the final floor and see what they've got there. And this floor isn't actually retro video games, it's arcade games. So they got a bunch of old classic arcade titles here. Got Wonder Boy Monster Land, we got Pac-Land, some sit-down cabinets over here as you can see. More modern stuff here, Bomberman, King of Fighters, Splatterhouse, Double Dragon. I'm sitting down here next to Versus Super Mario Brothers sit-down cabinet, and signing off from Super Potato in Akihabara, Tokyo. I hope you enjoyed our brief little guided tour here of the premises, and if you happen to be in Tokyo, I would definitely recommend a visit to Super Potato.
Super Potato, you've been to it more recently. I got there a couple of years ago, but since it's fresh in your mind, would you like to?
I actually gone there 4 years straight, so this was the fourth time for me to visit the shop, or maybe even more. But I've been there every year, last 4 years, and you know, it's funny. You know, it's mostly the same. Old games don't change that much. Sorry to spoil it for you, but you know, that's actually true. They do add some sections now and then, and I think some of the funniest things for me to see is like the import sections, where they bring sort of Western things, and they have some Xbox games, and they have some, you know, Atari systems and stuff like that, because it's just weird to see it like that. You know, everything's that foreign to me. It's like, oh, we have you know, Famicom Disk Station, you know, stacks and stacks and stacks of games, and we have, you know, TurboGrafx and you know, anything you'd imagine, and you know, the MSX and you know, things like that.
I find it odd that it's unique in itself, though, that you would never get that anything. Well, certainly in the UK, for us, we would never have something which I feel we should have a shop that basically keeps cartridges and CDs, classic games in pristine condition, because people do cry out to have a chance to play these games, and you just can't. The only way is emulation or pre-release,
or go to eBay or whatever, you know, trying to pick them up, and then you never know, and then it's a whole sort of enterprise. But it's really nice to sort of, you know, I think there are a few initiatives like museums that are trying to get it going, but of course this is like a living museum, and the beautiful thing is how meticulous the Japanese are about their boxes and about, you know, keeping things in good condition. So it's I don't think any used game shop would ever look like that quite here. I think you'd get a lot of, you know, stickers on it.
And, I mean, we were sort of discussing this before. We sat down about how you picked up a copy of Virtual Strike, I picked up a copy of Pilot Wings, and it was almost like the day and date that they actually came out pristine.
Mine was in the original plastic. You know.
I was just saying, it's basically, if you ever get a chance to actually go over there, I mean, obviously enough, any gamer will want to visit there anyway, but it's definitely a sight to see.
Yeah,
and
you know, if you got room in your suitcase and you know, the willingness to spend a lot of cash, you can pick up a lot of stuff pretty cheap. I mean, comparatively in the condition that it is. Even though I'm sure there's a lot of cheaper places in Japan, it's just that this is the tourist trap #1, and at TGS it's just full of Westerners. You know, it's just everyone who goes to TGS is there. So running into a lot of people like, oh, anyway, we got the sign.
We got the sign. We could talk about TGS in Japan for quite some time, but I think it's that time of the day. Oh, drum roll or whatever. Fantastic, as we have a drum right in front of us. Signal. Yeah, going like that. Yeah. It is competition time.
Yes, and that was Raymond, one of my all-time favorite Frenchmen. And the question today is, and the answer, you'll find the answer in the trailer. What is the 6th way in which to beat the game?
And if you do think you do know the answer, just simply stick it in an email to us. Email address you're looking for is xmas@gamereactor.eu. Put the answer in the subject line of the email, fire it across to us. You have until tomorrow's show to enter, at which point we will perhaps pick someone, a name from the hat or inbox tray of our choice.
If you're a winner, you'll know about it.
You will know, believe me, you will know. But I think that's all about time we have for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Also, just wanted to say, obviously enough, check us out on the website as a full, and we also have the Game Reactor iPhone app, which you can download for free off the App Store. And there's also the iPad magazine, which again is free on the App Store as well.
And I have to say, for all those Android people out there, we're working on it. It's coming someday. I'm putting a fire underneath the coder's ass right now, but
sooner rather than later. That's all we will say. As for, we should mention basically what you can win if you do enter. We're going to show you now.